All right. And Art found his way here.
He was the first one here. You guys are slow.
He was actually the first one at my meeting too. He was sitting there waiting on me.
He needs
We
some of that.
can't hear you, Art. You're
muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Zoom's a really good meeting software. On my side, I get the chat window transcript and everything, all of it. It works really well. So that link that Vicente shared with us, I've got a copy of it, so I can post that somewhere.
Well, I use it for all of my classes these days. So it has to be fairly user-friendly because it's got to be used by the least computer literate person in the class, okay?
Yeah.
But we also do family stuff that way. And since I'm faculty, I have unlimited use. I don't have to stop after 40 minutes. I guess I'm limited to something like 410 attendees, but you know, at that point, it would get unmanageable anyway. So. But
yeah, when I was under the impression that if somebody in your room had a paid membership, though, that 40 limit was waived, but apparently not, because.
Well, it's only if they are the host.
Oh, okay.
So if they don't host it, see, I have a paid membership. That,
I could have thrown you the host, and.
But the upshot of it is, if you're in order to use the paid membership, you have to be the host. That's the long and short of it. So
the free thing works well for us. So.
Oh yeah. Well, I've used this and I've used a couple of the others, Google's and so forth and so on, but this is the one that we've officially adopted for the California Community College system. So they've got a fair number of customers there.
So Barry, what's going on?
No, not too much. I had to rebuild my battery pack on my Prius because I let it sit too long. So that was a lovely experience.
You rebuild it?
Yeah.
Did it go bad and you had to replace it?
Well, so because I didn't have to go to work for like 2.5 months, evidently letting the Prius battery sit for more than like a week or two is not very good for it. So I got a battery fault tolerance, bunch of weird errors on the screen and stuff. Basically, the pack started overheating where the couple blades that went bad. So I bought a used pack from, like, not knowing where to get a battery pack because the place I had planned on ordering from, since they quit making batteries in, like, say, November, the supply is kind of gone for battery packs in some levels. I didn't really know, because the place that used to have them for $1,000 was wanting $2,800 plus a $900 core charge. Plus it's like $400 shipping each way, or $300. So something ludicrously insane. I went and managed to find a junkyard that actually had them semi-local, and went down and got a used battery pack for $450. They had rebuilt the pack, but they had done a really shoddy job at cleaning the connectors. So when I hooked it in, it failed too. so I ended up tearing it apart, and then I replaced like 8 blades out of my pack that were below voltage with 8 blades out of the junkyard pack, and rebuilt it. It's been working ever since, so that's pretty cool. I got like 20 spare blades, but yeah, I don't recommend it. But after that was the other thing too, is like by the time it was all over and said and done, I was like 2/3 of the way into the tearing the batteries apart. I came across in a forum post that Napa carries the whole module with all the electronics for $1,500 and a 3-year warranty, which would have turned it into like a 15-minute job. I highly recommend that route.
So putting a trickle charger on it or something like that won't protect the battery when the car is sitting?
Well, so the catch is the main battery pack is 28 blades of lithium, something or other, metal hydride or something.
Yeah.
What happens is if they get more than like 0.2 volts out of whack, the charge controllers will start kind of getting a complaint about it. And then like as like say one starts dropping faster than the others, you get an overheat issue. So, because it's, absorbing more power for whatever cell's croaked basically. And you start hearing the fan run full pour on the coolant fan for it, you've got some problems. But yeah, they recommend that you be around 7.8 to 8 volts or something like that. Most of my pack was like scoring in at 7.776, and then the pack I'd gotten from the junkyard was all at 7.8. So basically, I replaced everything that was like 7.5 and under. I had one that was down to 6. I figured if they were 0.2 volts or further down than that they would probably be the next ones to fail anyway, and I didn't want to be redoing it in 2 weeks. So it's been working. Like I said, it wasn't as easy as I had hoped, but it wasn't as bad as it could be. And there's a software package for if you ever get one of those like Bluetooth ODBN, there's a Torque or something, I think is what it was called. It's like a $10 app, and it'll tell you which battery pairs are down when the car is running, so you can actually diagnose which ones are going bad anyway, which is nice to see that you can see that on your phone or iPad or whatever you install it on. But I didn't have that opportunity to go that route, so I just did based on what the voltages of the cells were at, and worked out. Supposedly you can recondition them, and it's like a $300 or $400 battery or charger. You can like, part of the problem is I guess they get a certain level of memory, and you can like recondition them. It takes about 3 or 4 days or something of running them down and recharging and running them down and recharging them. They say that'll buy you like about another year, but once you've done that a time or two, they're pretty much toast. So that's one of my fun projects I've been up to.
Sounds like a learning experience.
It was entertaining.
So can you run the Prius on gasoline exclusively?
Don't entirely think so, because I think well, okay, yeah, I guess technically you can, because even with my battery fault, I could still drive. It just operates very, very wonky without the battery pack working. I don't know if it's a safety fail feature, because like when I was testing the pack from the junkyard and driving it around, like I got like, I don't know, 15 miles without any trouble the first time, and then it faulted again, and I reset the computer. I got about 20 miles, and then when it faulted that time, I had no acceleration. It took me about 5 miles to get up to 40 miles an hour to come back home. At which point, that's where I called the battery pack on that finagled, and I started tearing that pack down. And when I started looking at the connectors and stuff, they hadn't cleaned anything at all. I mean, some of the copper plates were completely corroded over, gummed over and everything. I was like, well, that's probably my whole problem. But they had broken some bolts, and you could tell where they had, put different blades from different, they had like 5 different colored markings on half of them and stuff. So I knew they flip-flopped a bunch of them to make a good pack, and they just didn't bother to clean the connectors. And they had used a power tool or something to put them on, so half of them were crushed for the bus bar, because it's just a real crappy plastic. So I just took, like I said, I put it all back in my mind. And I was kind of looking forward to having a new one from the junkyard, because I was thinking that like one of the main kick relay is kind of wonky on my car. So I don't know if it's sticking or what, but one of the guys was talking on the forum that sometimes that's caused by the auxiliary battery being too low. So I trickle charged that for like 4 or 5 hours before I put the car all back together, and I haven't had any problems with it at all. It's been working great. So but I mean, that battery too, I mean, it's 14 years old. I've never replaced anything until now. So had 285,000 miles on it, and
Holy crap.
little change. So yeah, I was kind of surprised. It's like, because one of the guys at the place I have my car worked on and stuff, he had somebody come in the other day, had half the mileage, and the dealership was telling him the batteries were shot. And I was like, that can't be. I was like, man, I was like, I'm pushing 270 something at the time. I was like, I haven't had a lick of trouble with them. But I guess if you let them sit too much, it hurts them. So, lesson learned.
So you're telling me I shouldn't park my Tesla for too long?
Well, so Tesla has a completely different battery system in it than what the Prius uses. So they probably are a little bit more resilient because they're a lot higher dollar battery. And that's the other thing too, I think, and I'm kind of curious what's going on. There's a company now making, I don't know if you've seen polymer lithium ion.
Yeah.
So supposedly they're pretty well indestructible, because the polymer keeps the lithium from migrating through the membrane of the material. So they'll hold a charge and won't degrade, allegedly. But the military's kind of gobbling them up as fast as the company can make them, because you can put bullets through it and they don't blow up and they don't catch fire, and they still operate at like 98% with holes through it. So I don't know how long until they'll put them in cars.
Very interesting.
Yeah, that was a really neat demo. I watched that, and they take like a sheet battery the size of like a physics textbook or something, put like 8 rounds of 45 through it, and it's still testing out at like 97.5% of the voltage, and I was like, that's a little crazy. And of course they shoot, a normal one, and it instantly bursts into flames and then explodes. So it's a big difference.
I would guess the LiPo ones are quite a bit more expensive, though.
I don't really know. Like I said, I haven't seen any pricing on it. The company that's making that stuff, like I said, they're pretty much slammed with military contract orders because they're not a very big outfit. But I just, like I said, they go into the science and the tech and how they, some of the way they do it. And I mean, it looks like it'd be way cheaper to manufacture because they can just pour it out on a membrane or whatever and roll it up. So, I mean, they're really fast to produce, I guess, compared to some of the other styles of battery manufacturing. But I said, don't know where that's at now. But I like the idea because it's like, if the lithium can't migrate to the other side, then there's no, you don't have to ever worry about it overheating, or, if the lithium can't move, it's stable. puts a new twist in the battery, you know.
I think the oldest kid, I think she drove her Prius around for 4 or 5 months when her batteries went bad and didn't have any real problem with it.
Yeah.
Her gas mileage was horrible, but she didn't have any real problems.
Yeah, and I think that was, if I was on my own pack, I probably wouldn't have lost the power. But I was like, and I think what was causing the fault on the one from the junkyard was because there was probably a whole bunch of cells that couldn't be read by the computer, and it was, you know, saying, "Yo, I'm not going to put that much voltage down the line because these 5 cells, I can't see them," you know.
Right.
Or there was a break in the potential there. I don't know. I said I was really shocked at how nasty the junkyard connectors were. I mean, mine weren't even that bad. I mean, mine had a lot of green on some of them, but theirs were just completely tarred over on several of the. They have like little, I don't know what you call them, like they're almost like bottle cap copper plates that connect from the batteries in pairs. And I mean, like several of them were just like completely black on both sides. So I don't know how it even had contact on the one they'd rebuilt. I dropped all mine in a baking soda solution for overnight, and then I put white vinegar on them in the morning and cleaned right off. And then I buffed them with like a green Scotch Brite a little bit before I reassembled it, just to clean them up more. But the it was kind of funny too, is like there's a, I don't know, like 60 screws or something on the bottom, and the guy was talking about that they torque to like 12 inch pounds or something crazy low, and I thought, man, that's nuts. I never even heard of inch pound torquing, you know. And they weren't kidding, man. It's like I had one blade that was a little out of whack, so the threads bind a little bit, threading them in, snap that right off, and nothing, like without any effort at all.
Right.
So those weren't real strong bolts.
Inch pounds.
Yeah.
I just, inside the chat window, I just put a link to a picture of the partially wired wrapped LEDs.
Hey, Patty. I made you host so you can put up whatever
You made me host so I could do stuff, huh?
Yeah.
Cool.
You need, there's actually 2 more wires that need to go, or yeah, I think there's 2 more wires. So the ground wire needs to go to all of it. And then there's a wire that goes to the microcontroller. But I wire wrapped all that because that seemed like a good thing to do, because that wire is really thin and easy to bend and move where I wanted it to go.
Mm-hmm.
Looks cool.
Yeah. What's the gauge of that wire?
30.
But you're only putting what, 3-4 milliamps into each one of those LEDs?
Yeah, it'll handle. Yeah, it's 38 AWG. It shouldn't be a problem handling the little tiny bit of current that's going through there, as long as I'm not using all white. For whatever reason, all white takes a lot of power, but
yeah.
I just thought you would like to see how nuts I actually am.
I don't know if we want
My Sente already knew it. My Sente.
Well, actually, I was using YWrap lately because of you.
So you're working on something new, Vicente?
No, I'm just assembling the tiny boards.
Yeah.
I have 3 of them working. I'm still need to make work other 3 because each one has a different microcontroller. All of them are ARM microcontroller. ARM. I can share the look of the board.
You should be able to.
Share screen.
Yeah, you should be able to.
This is the.
There we go.
Can you see?
Ooh.
This is the tiny development board for the ARM microcontrollers. I was looking for all microcontrollers that have the same footprint with the same I/O async pinout. Actually, I have 7 microcontrollers, all ARMs with Cortex-0, Cortex-3, and Cortex-4 technology. And all of them can be programmed with any IDE. Still, you can use Arduino IDE to program them. It's interesting. I create the brand Candy ARM and the website candycircuits.com. But it's nothing there still. Let me stop sharing this. Look, I am using the same board for every microcontroller, but I am using a color dot in the USB-C connector. You see, this dot say which microcontroller are you using in each board. This is the first prototype of the board. And this is what I'm doing. Just playing with the KiCad, making PCBs. I also I'm working in the ruler, in the computer ruler. It's working, but I need to add the sleep mode to run on the coin battery, and the buttons are in the DHL will deliver the new buttons next week from the manufacturer. They create a different button with a tiny force to simulate the Apple computers. Instead of be a push button, will be a key. Will behave like a key because will be very soft, very easy to press. Instead of you see. It's noisy. Can you see? I asked the manufacturer to create a very soft bottom with the same dimensions, and they are sending me for free 10 samples to test to see how they work. That's what I am doing.
Very cool.
What else? Well, I am working in the house because we are selling the house. We are moving close to downtown. Well, maybe the same distance, but in a different place. It was very problematic to move because of the virus, but we finally have a deal for the new house. and now we need a deal for this one. I am just painting and fixing stuff all around the house. And well, I hope that in August I will be in the new house. I love the new office there, and the basement is huge to have anything there with different rooms for different stuff.
A project for every room.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and a huge driveway to test robots.
There was a there's an old church that's looks like it's abandoned, but it has a huge gym, and I said that would be perfect. We could have meetings in there, and I could run robots all over the place.
Yeah, we are thinking all the time in the same. I have let me show something.
Put quadcopters inside of there and fly them around indoors. Don't worry about whatever. You should be able to share, Jim.
Yeah, I just
Everybody
tried.
should. I turned that on.
Good.
I can share something. Just a second. This was yesterday, before and after. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Should have got.
Was a very hot day.
And here you thought I was nuts for doing wire wrap so much. Perfectly groomed plant hedges.
That's it. I lost a couple of pounds doing that. Too hot days.
There's the club discussion group, CAP, Wix, I sent the link to Art and Vicente, but there it is.
Oh, yeah.
Where-
Okay. Thank you.
I see. Okay. Thank you. I have it now. $78.
Yep, that's it, plus tax.
Yeah, I'm planning to use it in the new house. It's good for the air cleaning, and the air odors also disappear with this, I guess.
Probably where you are, you probably have the electrostatic filter built in already. All you need is a UV.
Yeah, I will check that before. A curious stuff is a vacuum, an integrated vacuum in all the house. You know, you have like plugs in each room to connect a hose and do the vacuum. It's interesting.
We like that, but I've got a little vacuum cleaner with a cord that's pretty handy too. You end up dragging the hoses around. It's a little inconvenient.
Well, the good thing is it has a lot of power, you know. The suction is huge.
It's got a huge canister too. That's the good part.
Supposedly you need to change every 6 months. You open the bottom of the vacuum in the basement and throw all the dust in an integrated bag that you put inside the. I took a picture of that, but I don't remember where I have it. Let me look for it. Google.
running low on time again.
Just 10 minutes. We're good.
We're good. This was quite a few people today.
What has the turnout been like for the last, while you've been doing virtual meetings?
Probably 4, and then sometimes 5, and maybe 6 occasionally. It depends. It's summertime, I've heard.
Afraid to go outside or?
Yeah, we get people desperate to talk, you know, hey, we got the catbird seat. We're doing great. We just sit them in and rake them in, you know.
Well, can you see this? This is the vacuum.
Yeah, yeah.
In the bottom there is a canister or something.
That's the bucket that you take off that bottom part.
Yeah, yes.
What happens if you get something stuck in the hose system?
I have no idea. Maybe a problem. Maybe you can put pressure in backward. No, I don't know. You will lose pressure everywhere.
Have you heard of a coat hanger?
Maybe you need something like a cleaner of a spring or something to introduce, like the one that used to clean the drains.
We had the
It's PVC tubes. I mean, you can put something inside them and just turn around, push or whatever.
yeah the tube, the PVC tubing is larger than the hose. We got something stuck in the hose the other day, and it was clothes hanger time and try sucking it reverse way and all that. I've never seen the PVC stick. You know, I've been here like 15 years and I've never seen one get stuck. Just I see the hose get stuck a couple of times, but it's smaller, much smaller than the piping.
If it happens to me, I will be thinking on art.
So the filter mechanism is essentially to keep the hose smaller than the ductwork that goes back to the blower or to the vacuum.
Maybe, yeah. Or maybe there is a filter or something that you can put in the hose somewhere.
You can use a wire rat or something like that.
So is this wet or dry or just strictly dry?
Dry. I think it's dry.
So
That depends on your kids, Elsa. Trust me, I've had experience in that area.
yeah.
With vomit, okay?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
We'll never know what hit us. Worked pretty good. So we've been in playing the never-ending story of the air conditioner is dying, and it's 1996 vintage, so it's not looking good. We may have to go to a new unit. It looks like the new units last 15 years. That's the expected lifetime for an air conditioner, guys.
Shorter, yeah.
That's ridiculous.
it's called
And the
guarantee employment.
Material optimization. Everything is thinner, less coatings, and
With the 410A, they're operating at 400 PSI,
Yeah.
much higher pressure. And it looks like they don't last as long. And the high end ones are 26. They have 26 SEER units now. Okay, and they're actually, the lifetime is on the higher end units does go up to like 23 years. I'm going to lie, I never knew they failed really. I put a condenser fan on mine 2 years ago. And
My system in this house has 30 years old. It's very.
How many?
30. 3 times 10.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's very robust, very strong. But people, when it comes, they don't understand, don't know this technology is different. It will cost a lot to change it, but it's working pretty well.
Yeah.
It never stopped. In the last 5 years, was working perfectly.
We apparently are under an air quality advisory from midnight tonight to midnight Sunday night.
Is that because of the Sahara dust?
Probably. The ozone levels of unhealthy for sensitive groups. There's a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, we get ozone over here regularly, periodically, not regularly.
But it's dust.
Basically all weekend long, we're going to be under this air quality alert. So
We're close to LA, Art, so we kind of catch.
Oh, really?
yeah, this probably isn't really new for you, is it, Art?
What?
An air quality alert?
Well, over the last couple of years in the fall when they had the fires, yes. As a matter of fact, my wife had to come out to Ohio because she has asthma and it really got bad.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that they avoid the fires this year, but it's looking pretty dry.
Yeah.
So it only takes a little bit to get it started, and then it's away to the races.
Yeah.
But we're not getting any of the dust from the Sahara Desert, though. That's what's hitting the East Coast.
Yeah, and it's in the south also. I think that is not about Georgia. It's in the Gulf of Mexico, or the south, or the States. I saw a map.
Yeah, I think it came as far north as Tennessee and southern Kentucky.
Yeah, I think so. No.
Out in range to stop it for the win.
Up here, they call it the Gulf of Mexico for whatever reason. We got about a minute left, guys, so don't be surprised.
Do we have a third session or not?
No, not yet.
Maybe the first time.
Oh, usually by this time it's dinner time.
Yeah.
We need to ask permission for that.
All this work that people do on the projects, my little work, my little news thing, I spend an hour or two. Leroy, I don't know how many hours he spends. Oh my God. So you get a presentation, Art. If you get bored, do us a presentation.
Okay. So.
And Ray's threatened us with a presentation. So I'm kind of surprised he isn't here. He's semi-regular.
So how long does it take the recording to process, Leroy?
Not long, 15 minutes tops. Usually takes me, I'll have it posted tomorrow.
Okay.
5 seconds. 3. Bye, everybody. Bye.